I wanted to tell you that I want to be more than friends. And I knew she was going to give me a big smooch right on the spot. Scream yes. And instead she was quiet. For maybe an hour, she was quiet as we continued dancing the same song. And then she said, "What's up, guys? My name is Kyle Scott. I'm going to tell you a true story. It's really not that serious, but it did hurt. It hurt bad. And I want to tell it because I want to lift some of you up today. I want you to realize that we all go through some tough times." So back in high school, this was a long time ago for me, I had a big crush on this girl. Her name, I'm going to call her Katherine. That's not her real name. She had blonde hair. She and I were friends, so we hung out a lot. We had mostly mutual friends. She was a goofball. You know, all her friends were fun, but I had special eyes for her alone. And I had heard that she didn't have a date to prom. Prom was coming up. And that not only did she not have a date, but she was actually kind of hoping that I would ask her. And like I said, I had a big crush on her. I didn't know if she liked me or not, but I asked one of her friends, and one of her friends said, "She does like you, and she is not going to prom with anyone yet. You should ask her." So I got pretty excited. So I did some brainstorming with a buddy of mine. We'll call him Jocko. And Jocko and I decided that since I was learning guitar at the time, that I should write her a little song. And so I started brainstorming the best possible lyrics I could come up with. I don't remember much of the song. All I remember is the hook. It had her name in it. We're using Katherine for now, but it went like this. Katherine, oh Katherine. Pretty good, right? I knew she was gonna love it. Brilliant songwriting. And so I got it all ready to play. I don't remember any more of it, but there's more to it. But so I made some plans to get together, to be her ride, to get together with some friends. We probably went and saw a movie, ate some ice cream, you know, the usual. And the night was perfect. The song was ready to go. I had said some funny things that night. She had laughed at a few of my jokes. And I was taking her home to her house in my 1999 Ford Ranger. I was going to drop her off. And I was getting nervous. My heart was starting to pound because I knew what was coming. And I think she could sense that something was up. I had my guitar in the back seat of the Ranger. It had one of those extended cabs with the little seats that fold out for tiny people to sit in. And so we pulled up to the house and we did some small talk. And just when things were getting a little awkward, I reached back to the back seat to grab my guitar. And I said, "Hey, I wanted to ask you a question." And as I pulled it out and revealed the neck to her, I think she got an idea of what was happening, and she stopped me and said, "Are you about to ask me to prom?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "I'm already going with somebody." I was screaming on the inside, but I chuckled and said, "It's all good." And she got out and went inside, and I never even got to play Katherine, oh Katherine. Never got to play it for her. To this day, she has not heard that song. But the story doesn't end there. It gets even worse. The next day at school, I asked her friend, the one who had said that I should ask her to prom, I said, "Why did you tell me to ask her to prom? You said that she would want to go with me." And her friend said, "Yeah, she had told me that she did. What happened?" And I said, "Well, she told me that she's already going with someone." And her friend said, "Well, who?" And I said, "Jay." And her friend said, "What, Jay? I thought that was a joke." And then at that point, I was just annoyed. But a week or so later, I found out Jay wasn't going to prom. And so I thought, well, maybe he decided not to go. They were going to go together, but then he decided not to go. And so I saw Katherine cross the field after school, and I thought, whatever, you know what? My dignity is already underground. So I just marched over there, and I said, "Hey, I heard Jay's not going to prom. Do you want to come to prom with me?" And she said, "Yeah." And my heart grew 3 sizes that day. And I thought maybe it was all true. Maybe she was just going to prom with Jay and he dropped out, and she really wanted to go with me. Didn't ask her first, but now I have a second chance, a redemption story, an redemption arc coming. And so I got excited again and I started to make my plans to ask her to be my girlfriend at prom. And at prom we had a lot of fun. And I was anxious and nervous all night, but I knew that when I asked her to be my girlfriend, she would say yes, because several of her friends had said that she would. Must have been faulty information, because true to my plan, we were slow dancing. We were in close together. The night was about halfway over. She was wearing a purplish dress. I could smell her hair. It was L'Oreal. I leaned in close, put my lips close to her ear, and said, "Hey, Katherine, I wanted to tell you something." And she said, "Okay." And I said, "I wanted to tell you that I want to be more than friends." And I knew she was going to give me a big smooch right on the spot. Scream yes. And instead she was quiet. For maybe an hour, she was quiet as we continued dancing the same song. And then she said, "I'm not ready for a relationship right now." And my heart shrank 3 sizes that day. I understand. I think I said something like that. And we danced for another 30 seconds or so. And then she said, "I kind of feel like I want to sit down." And I said, "Me too." So she went to sit down over there and I went to sit down over there. And I don't think I went back on the dance floor that night. I was crushed. I sat with a couple friends who didn't like to dance. And that night, I didn't even give Katherine a ride home, and I should have. I honestly forgot that I was supposed to. I was so defeated. But you know what? Life goes on. I continued to write music and to play guitar, despite my failure to perform my greatest hit, "Katherine, Oh Katherine." And now when I write a song, I sing it from the rooftops, unashamed of what happened to me that night at prom. So boys and girls, never stop songwriting and performing. Never quit. No matter how many times Katherine tells you she already has a prom date. My name is Kyle Scott. I teach people how to play music here on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment if this story resonated with you. And I'll see you on the next video.